Hello, dear fans, friends, and subscribers. Welcome to the first day's play report in the first test match between Sri Lanka and India, which was played at the Galle Cricket Ground. I can say India had a great start to proceedings as far as the first test was concerned, as India were placed in a handsome manner at 399 for 3, which saw Shikhar Dhawan play a sensational innings of 190 runs with 31 boundaries. In fact, he scored 126 in the session between lunch and tea, which included 26 boundaries. And he also broke one of the records, which was held by Paulie Umrigar, of scoring a session. And Shikhar Dhawan hitting 126 runs in the second session to make 190. And Cheteshwar Pujara was still there, hurting the Sri Lankan bowlers with a very composed knock of 144 unbeaten runs, his 12th century in Test cricket with 12 boundaries. And that was the story of the day as far as India and Sri Lanka were concerned. So just talking about this game here, Hardik Pandya today making his debut for India in this particular test match. So Hardik Pandya coming into the team and getting his test debut, which was good to see. And India actually deciding to go with the all-rounder Hardik Pandya, and they had Umesh Yadav and Mohammad Shami as their bowlers, and Bhuvneshwar Kumar was dropped. As far as the play was concerned, it was a good toss to win. Yesterday I was telling you that whichever team wins the toss, it is very vital. So I was a bit surprised, but after looking at the way the Indians played, I probably have to say that India played magnificently. On the first day, Virat Kohli winning the toss and electing to bat, with Shikhar Dhawan and Abhinav Mukund actually opening the innings. And as you know, India are already crippled with KL Rahul out with viral fever, Murli Vijay out with an injury, and Shikhar Dhawan, Abhinav Mukund started. But Abhinav Mukund, after making 12 runs with 2 boundaries, was the first victim for the Sri Lankans in the first test, as Nuwan Pradeep was the best bowler amidst all the runs that were being scored, bowled a beautiful line. He got a ball to Abhinav Mukund that straightened off the seam and took the edge of the bat and rested in the hands of Dikwala. So Abhinav Mukund failing with the bat there, caught Dikwala, bowled Pradeep for 12, and the Indians scored. They lost their first wicket with the score on 27. So Cheteshwar Pujara walked then, and Shikhar Dhawan was at the crease. And Cheteshwar Pujara and Shikhar Dhawan knew that after losing that particular wicket, the first wicket, they were a bit watchful, but at the same time, they made sure that any loose stuff that was served to them, they really were going after it. Especially Lairu Kumara, the young pacer, he was really hit a lot by both the batsmen. Shikhar Dhawan punching him for boundaries, also hitting him for force through the point region. Cheteshwar Pujara is a good driver of the ball, and it was good to see as Pujara and Dhawan settled in very nicely to start posing problems for the Sri Lankan bowlers. Shikhar Dhawan was not aggressive at all. He was biding his time at the crease, but making sure that he was also taking care of the short stuff. And Shikhar Dhawan and Cheteshwar Pujara had done a good job there by taking India to lunch without any further mishap, which was good to see. So, and in the process, we saw Lairu Kumara, who was a bit costly. Rangana Herath was played very well by the Indian batsmen. They decided that they are going to use their feet. They are not going to play Rangana Herath, the cardinal error that they did, as you would remember in the previous series, and Rangana Herath was to play from the crease, and they paid very dearly for that. But this time, they made sure that they used their feet in the proper manner. I mean, they definitely left the crease and started negotiating Rangana Herath. And Rangana Herath could also could not make any impression. As that was going on, they also had a sort of a big injury for the very talented player Asela Gunaratne, who is out of the series because of the injury he suffered. I suppose it was a fracture that he suffered when he tried to actually take a catch, field a ball, I suppose. And so that is not good news for Sri Lanka, with Sri Lanka having only 10 players now playing in the test match. That is a bit sad for them for sure. Cheteshwar Pujara and Shikhar Dhawan were doing a good job, and Shikhar Dhawan was a man who was absolutely transformed after lunch. When the ball started becoming old, Shikhar Dhawan really got into his element. And look at that knock. I mean, Shikhar Dhawan was literally toying with the Sri Lankan bowlers as he got 126 runs in the session between lunch and tea, and Dhawan was scorching boundaries at will. I mean, he had only 7 boundaries at the lunch time, and in no time Shikhar Dhawan had already reached his century after lunch. And not only that, he was on 70 odd runs and he had raced to his century. And suddenly the Sri Lankan bowlers were wilting under the blade of Shikhar Dhawan, as Shikhar Dhawan was literally carving the Sri Lankan bowlers as he was hitting boundaries at absolute will. In fact, he reeled off 23 boundaries in that session between lunch and tea. Just imagine this. He had 7 boundaries in the morning session, and then he had 23 boundaries in a score of 126 that he reeled off, which is a record which broke the former Indian player Paulie Umrigar, who had probably done it against the West Indies. And Shikhar Dhawan, what a knock from Shikhar Dhawan. That was a sensational knock, I think, especially between lunch and tea, to score 126 runs and also make 190. I mean, he was gone after tea. I mean, he was there only for 2 sessions, and look at his score. It was such very sad to see that Shikhar Dhawan could not get to his double century, as Nuwan Pradeep was the bowler. He was the only bowler who was really making an impression, and he was the man who actually picked up the wicket, as Shikhar Dhawan actually spooned a drive to Angelo Matthews, and Shikhar Dhawan was gone for 190 with 31 boundaries. What a knock from Shikhar Dhawan. Cheteshwar Pujara, on the other hand, was nurdling his way to a century as Virat Kohli, and looked at the partnership. The partnership took the score from 27 to 280. So Sri Lanka had to wait for quite a long time to get their second wicket, as it almost took them. Let's look at the partnership that happened. It was a 253 runs partnership that happened between Shikhar Dhawan and Cheteshwar Pujara. Cheteshwar Pujara was looking like a spectator in between the lunch and tea sessions, when Shikhar Dhawan's bat was ruling the roost there in that particular session. And Cheteshwar Pujara had slowly nurdled himself to a century as well, as Virat Kohli came in. But what a great relief for the Sri Lankans. I mean, they would have thought after Shikhar Dhawan left with Pujara and Kohli to come, they would have probably said that today it's going to be definitely Kohli and Pujara who are going to be there till the close of play. But one good thing that I would say that happened for Sri Lanka is the wicket of Kohli, which was taken by Pradeep cheaply for 3, as Virat Kohli was tempted with a bouncer by Nuwan Pradeep. Kohli went on to the hook the ball. The ball took the top edge, and Dikwala held the catch, and Kohli was gone for 3. And that made the score from 280 at 286. Kohli fell, and the Indian scored at 286 for 3. But the other end, Pujara had reached his 12th test century, and he was really like a solid rock there for India. Ajinkya Rahane joined him, and another partnership had started to take shape, as already this partnership between Ajinkya Rahane was unbeaten on 39 with only 1 boundary, really putting his head down and trying to play there. Ajinkya Rahane, good job done. And Cheteshwar Pujara was unconquered on 144 with 12 boundaries, as India closed the day at 399 for 3. And as I said, this was a great start to the first test match by India. As far as the bowling, Nuwan Pradeep, who took all the wickets to fall today, 18 overs, 1 maiden, 64 runs and 3 wickets. Splendid bowling from Nuwan Pradeep, bowled a very good line. Lairu Kumara was definitely given a lesson as far as his bowling is concerned by the Indian batsman. 16 overs, none for 95. Dilruwan Pereira, 25 overs, 1 maiden, none for 103. Rangana Herath, who was blunted by the Indians today, by really leaving the crease and playing him instead of playing inside the crease. 24 overs, 4 maidens, 92 runs and no wicket. Gunatilaka 7 overs, none for 41 as India closed the day at a mammoth 399 for 3, and they could have not expected a better start than this to proceedings in the India-Sri Lanka Test Series. So for Sri Lanka, they have their task absolutely cut out. India always boasts of a very, very strong batting lineup. Their primary goal would be to first get the wicket of Cheteshwar Pujara, who is not out. And you know, Cheteshwar Pujara, once he sticks in, he goes on to play a long innings. And I won't be surprised a bit tomorrow if Cheteshwar Pujara gets 250 odd runs. Ajinkya Rahane has also put his head down and really played the ball according to the merit. And he could also be getting a few strokes going tomorrow with that confidence he's playing. And then they still have Hardik Pandya, Ridhiman Saha. So it would be in the fitness of things for Sri Lanka to nip up some wickets pretty quickly tomorrow, or otherwise India, probably New Zealand, Sri Lanka India are looking at a score of probably in excess of probably close to 600 runs. But one has to wait and watch as to what the Sri Lankan bowlers can come up with. Can you conjure up some magic there to get the Indian wickets? But the Sri Lankan bowling attack definitely looked a very bit weak. Barring Nuwan Pradeep, nobody could make any impression. And Rangana Herath was blunted beautifully by the Indian batsman by actually starting to play him by leaving the crease, which was done very well. So that sums up the first day's play between India and Sri Lanka. And now let's have a look at some other news. The other news that I would like to share with you is, as you know, the third test match is coming up between South Africa and England. It's going to be played at the Oval. The good news for South Africa is that Kagiso Rabada will be back in action after the suspension for one match, and I'm sure he would have learnt his lessons as well as far as cricket spirit is concerned. And the news from England is not good. Mark Wood, that is not a good news for England. Mark Wood is out due to injury, and he would be replaced by the all-rounder Toby Rowland-Jones. He's quite an exciting cricketer, Toby Rowland-Jones. He's not only a bowler; he also bats very well, very well. So Toby Rowland-Jones would be getting an opportunity. He'll be making his Test debut, I reckon. So Toby Rowland-Jones will be the one who will be replacing Mark Wood. So that's one news I wanted to share. The other news, the other news that I want to share is about as you know, India, Australia, it's India, Afghanistan, as you know, because of Australia actually opting out of the tri-series, which was initially going to be played between India, South Africa and Australia opted out at the last moment. Today, as you know, Afghanistan are the ones who actually replaced them, and today this was the first match which was played between the India A team and South Africa, and I have to say that was a close game. Even though India scored only 152, it was a pretty close game as South Africa managed to win this match, but not before there was a lot of drama as far as this particular match was concerned. Just talking to you about some salient scores here. India A 152 all out in 41.5 overs. Manish Pandey, the captain, making 55 of 95 deliveries. Karun Nair 25-39 deliveries. For South Africa A, Aaron Fangiso, the left-arm spinner, 4 wickets for 30 runs of his full quota of 10 overs. Pretorius, the pace bowler, 8 overs, 3 for 24. And South Africa replied with 153. So they won the match with Behardine taking them to victory with a cool 37 of 62 deliveries. Pretorius also did well with the bat, 38 of 54. As far as the Indian bowling was concerned, the leggy Yuzvendra Chahal impressed with taking 3 wickets for 41 runs in 9.4 overs. Akshar Patel did his job to perfection, 10 overs, 2 for 35. So that is as far as the match scores are concerned. I mean, we can also look at the scorecard, so I can also do that. So I'm trying to see whether I can lay my hands on the scorecard here. So the India A, just looking at the India A innings, well, India did not, Samson disappointed, out for 7 of 6 balls with 1 4. Shreyas Iyer was out for a duck, coming in as 1 drop. Rishabh Pant could manage only 10 runs of 20 deliveries. Kunal Pandya, who got an opportunity here for the first time to play the Tri-Series, he was gone for naught. Akshar Patel 10, Yuzvendra Chahal not out 24 as I said, Thakur duck, Basil Thampi duck and Mohammad Siraj 8. The bowling, well, Fungiso had 4 wickets, 3 wickets for Pretorius, 2 for 15 for Bay Hendricks, and also Smuts and Davids also bowled. As far as South Africa were concerned, Davids was out for 5, Hendricks was out for 11 of 23 with 2 boundaries, Patterson 11, Klassen 24, Kyle Zondo 15, Behadi not out 37, Pretorius out for 38. Smuts coming lower down the order, which was a bit surprise according to me, because Smuts is a very good hitter of the ball. He was hit wicket bowled Chahal for naught, and they were 153 for it, but in the end it was South Africa who won the first game between India and South Africa. Thakur 1 for 25, 1 for 21 for Mohammad Siraj. Basil Thampi bowled only 2 overs, 1 maiden, 1 for 5. Impressed with his ball, with his pace, and also with his Yorkers that he bowls it to pinpoint perfection. Yuzvendra Chahal 341, Akshar Patel 235, Krunal Pandya 6 overs, 7 for 24. Well, dear fans, and let's see who was the man of the match there. As far as India versus South Africa were concerned, the player of the match going to the all-rounder Wayne Pretorius for doing a good job with both bat and ball. Well, dear fans and subscribers, that really wraps up this daily cricket show of mine today. Hope you all enjoyed it, and definitely I'll be back tomorrow with the second day's play in the first test match between India and Sri Lanka. Till such time, it's good night.